Welcome back to the daddyDANK podcast, episode 18 with my good buddy Nate Hilts. Nate, how's it going, man?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Ooh, you sound delicious, dude.
All right.
Fuck, I guess that's the perks of talking to a musician. Actually knows some shit about audio.
Oh man, I'm learning as I go. For
really?
Sure.
Well, it sounds legit. You look and sound great, man.
Oh, thanks, dude. You too.
How has the coronavirus sitch been going?
Oh, I really shut down all of my work in terms of traveling because we were supposed to be in Europe right now and last month, and next month we're supposed to be places, and we're kind of pushing that all a year away as we kind of cancel it. But other than that, I've been staying really healthy and learning a new language and
really,
yeah.
Dude, yeah, I couldn't be more opposite than you. I'm not staying healthy at all. I'm not learning any languages other than the language of fatherhood. But so you guys had to cancel. Okay, wait. First, let's get some context. Nate is the singer and guitar player of Dead South.
That's right, yeah.
And you guys have been a Regina band. When did you guys start? When was the inception of Dead South?
We decided it was 2012. That's when we actually started playing I think we played our first real show was 2012.
Played some gigs.
Yeah.
And so you guys were set to go on tour before all this happened, or what? What was the...
Yeah, basically. I mean, we got home from the UK March 1st, and then we were supposed to go to the Junos in Saskatchewan on March 12th or something. We showed up. And all of a sudden, when we got there, we just kept getting calls being like, hey, this is going to change. This is going to change. And then eventually we just got the call. It's like, hey, go home. Nothing's happening.
Yeah.
And from there, it's just been like, yeah, the next tour was canceled, which last month was supposed to be in Western Europe. Right now, today, I think we're supposed to be in Madrid.
Jesus.
You know? Yeah.
It's a tough pill to swallow. Fucking sitting at home. I guess it's probably good and bad. Have you guys been pretty busy the past few years, I'd imagine?
Yeah, it's been nonstop. I mean, I haven't spent this much time at home in like years.
Yeah, I guess that's the one good thing about it is you get to stay home with fam and hang out. Well, I guess I guess we're allowed to hang out now, but before you were probably just solo or...
Yeah, I was solo, but we're doing a lot of video calls, even with old friends. Like you'd get together on Zoom and just have a bunch of drinks and get wasted over video call.
Yeah, speaking of drinks, I'm going to pour myself a Jamie.
Yeah, sounds good. I have a hibiscus lime goza going from Pile of Bones right now. Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome. I love Pile of Bones.
Yeah, they got some good stuff.
So you've been stuck at home and you guys have all had to move your shit back a year. So that's what you did? You just canceled it straight up and postponed it to a year? Not
necessarily everything yet. We're kind of just, as stuff gets canceled, then we try and reschedule it for the year later. So
right.
This summer is currently getting canceled and rescheduled, so we're just bumping that back.
Pushing it all back.
The States is starting to open up a lot more, and we're supposed to tour there in September, so I don't know. We'll see what's going on with that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I bet you'd be able to go to the States by September. Like,
the question is, do you want to though?
Exactly.
To, There's a lot of people down there, and they're all, some of them are.
How do you think this is going to change, like live music? Do you think it will?
I think it will for a while. Anyways, especially now, like we're going to see restaurants and bars start opening up here soon.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're gonna have to see what that does, and then how people feel. Like I've had a conversation with a couple people who are like, I can't wait to go to live music. However, I'm really nervous to go.
Yeah, that's what I think it is. It's like I don't think anyone's ever gonna get tired of watching live music, but I'm just curious of like what people are gonna be like in crowds, like how long that's gonna take for people to feel cool with like going to crowds with strangers.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you're seeing kind of gatherings start to happen with this nicer weather. Like the summer is going to be a good test of, what's to come, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. And so, fuck, dude, last time I saw you guys, you were playing at the Connexus Arts Center in, maybe it was October?
October, yep.
And like that was like the first time like I've seen you guys prior, obviously. I don't even remember when I first met you, but like it was through the Andino Sons guy, I'm sure of it.
Definitely.
And I was absolutely blown away by the turnout at Connexus. Like it was like I had stepped into the Twilight Zone watching you guys. And I was just like I was thinking about it and like when did that happen? When did that ascent just like from, club shows at Ohans to now you're playing Connexus Art Center, 2,500 people or whatever it was. And then obviously Europe and like when did all that shit start?
Well, Europe started a year and a half into it. So that was a nice really boost, but I'll go back before that, I guess. Before we started going to Europe, we were just playing, we said yes to everything. Literally everything that was offered to us, we would just say, yeah, we want to play. We didn't really look into what it was, but we'd go set up and play anyways. And then that started actually working out quite well between Saskatchewan and Alberta. We were starting to get a nice following. And then eventually we went to Canadian Music Week in Toronto, and we met a nice German in New York who works for Devil Duck Records. And he was like, I want to sign you guys, start coming to Germany. And that was kind of the beginning.
That's so crazy. And so up until that point, what was that, like 2014?
That was 2014, yeah.
So up until that point, you guys were just playing clubs, kind of just trying to build your name in Canada. So did you guys blow up in Europe first? Is that how it happened?
Oh yeah, I think Europe, they took a hold of us before Canada did for sure.
Why do you think that is?
I think it was just something very different for them. Mm-hmm. First of all, one thing I noticed when we'd go there is they were really interested in Canadian or American music, even if they didn't know you or have never, didn't even listen to what kind of music you're playing. They heard you're from Canada. They wanted to come check you out.
Yeah.
And then that just kind of kept snowballing. And all of a sudden we're playing on like TV shows, like late night TV shows and stuff over there. It was pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah. And now you guys are huge there, man. Like I've seen some of the pictures of your guys' shows and it's just crazy. Like it's crazy that it happened there first, because now that kind of probably feels like a home away from home for you guys.
100% it does. I mean, we were going there so much, 3-4 times a year, mostly Hamburg. That's where the label's based out of. So we'd always start there, or end there and spend some time. So it's like right now when you fly to Germany, it's like, oh, I feel at home. I feel like I belong here a little bit. So that's cool.
That's deadly. Yeah, I love Germany, dude. It's like one of my favorite countries for sure. And so you guys kind of played most of like Northern Europe. Have you been all over Europe at this point? Pretty much.
Most of the West. We haven't played. Well, we were supposed to play in Spain and Italy on this tour here, and a lot more of France. But mostly, like, we've covered lots of Germany and Switzerland and played Czech Republic, Denmark. We haven't been to Scandinavia, like higher than Denmark. We haven't done. We were all supposed to play Norway. All these places we were supposed to play finally.
I'm sure
on this tour.
Yeah. I'm sure you guys will. Wishful thinking.
Oh yeah, but we played quite a bit of Western Europe and the UK.
Where do you guys do the best?
That's kind of leveling out. We're noticing a huge increase in the US. UK is huge following. And then if you're basing stats on Spotify, it kind of changes. Like you get Germany and then you'll get Denmark and then it'll like switch around to, I don't know, France sometimes. Paris, we got a really good following in Paris.
Dude, it's so crazy. Like one of the things I love about the Dead South is like how you guys are like performative almost. Like it feels like I'm watching like an actual performance. Like I love the whole, your guys' outfits, like the decor that you have on stage and just like the whole thing. And like I was thinking about like how do you describe the genre of music that you play? Like I'm sure you get asked it sometimes, and how do you nail that down?
we actually get asked that a lot because we don't even know the answer. I mean, we take from so many different places. We take a little bit from bluegrass, a little bit from punk, a little bit from country, a little bit from metal. You know, just
what's your background? Like what did you grow up listening to?
oh man, I grew up listening to everything. You know, anything from like Meatloaf to Simon and Garfunkel to Anne Murray to some old country stuff that my mom was listening to. And then I got into a really heavy classic rock phase. That's like where I really started liking music was when I started listening to like Zeppelin and Hendrix and then all of a sudden I heard the Doors.
Oh,
And
dude.
the Doors caught me. They brought me in and then I got into like Pearl Jam and Nirvana. And then all of a sudden I was in this huge punk phase where punk was just like all I wanted to listen to.
Yeah. Dude,
it's good.
It sounds so similar to the way I grew up listening to music too. Like I obviously, like most people, had a lot of influence from my family, my parents, my dad and my uncle. They played like a lot of Rage, and the Doors was like one of the staples in my dad's like repertoire. It was just Jim Morrison and the Doors, dude. And I grew up listening to like that kind of weird hallucinogenic classic rock style that Jim Morrison was so like poetically good at. And I feel like you can get some of that in your guys' music, like some of that like nitty gritty old school 70s rock, but like intertwined with like this weird like bluegrass country. I don't even know. Like that's what I mean. That's why I was so like, I was literally trying to think of like how you could classify the Dead South, and there really isn't a lot of bands in that realm of genre, I guess.
No, like I've come across bands that are like they'll aspire from bluegrass or metal, and they'll be like a metal bluegrass band, or kind of like a Celtic punk bluegrass band, but nothing that's like intertwining all of them.
All of them, yeah.
Yeah. And we don't even mean to. It's just what everyone brings to the table. I mean, Colton's a rank metal guitar player, and he transferred over to a banjo really well, and he's got a really. And he also likes writing music for video games, so that kind of stuff really, he's really into those kind of melodies. And Scott was just that singer-songwriter kind of guy, that beautiful voice and picks up harmonies really well, and really inspired by System of a Down vocals and stuff like that.
How did you guys come together? You grew up together, or?
Scott, Danny, and myself grew up together, but Colton and myself started the band with some other guys, Galen Malloy and Connor Malloy. We kind of started the band together, and then those guys just also moved to Montreal to play in a band or start a music career there. And my buddy Connor moved to China, so it was just me and Colton. And then
that's crazy, man. And you guys, so you started picking up steam 2014, pretty much right off the hop. How has that been different then to what it is now? And like, aside from the obviously the audience growth, how is it different with you guys as a band?
Well, obviously audience growth, like you said, that's grown quite a bit. But I think even travel wise, we used to just rent what we could or drive what we could and squeeze everything in and sleep where we could. And now we're at the point where we started renting tour buses, and where we can actually sleep. Yeah, we can actually sleep every night. You don't have to drive all night, and then
you're fucking rock stars now, dude.
Oh, trying to be, anyways.
At what point did you At what point was it a thing where you're like, okay, well, I guess I'm doing this now. This is like my plan, like my life plan, my career.
Right off the hop, as soon as I got the taste of playing elsewhere and seeing how people enjoyed it, and then just getting to hang around and travel with my friends, I was like, man, this is something that I could do for the rest of my life. Dude, and I believed in it. And as soon as Germany was presented to us, I actually took a step away from my university degree, and I was like, I'm going to try this out. Haven't looked back since.
Crazy. Yeah, Tony was telling me a story about he like heard one of the first Dead South songs when you guys were back in uni.
Yeah, we were working at Ranch Arlo autism camp together.
Oh, is that how you guys know each other? Dude, crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I invited him over for some beers after work one day, and yeah, I was like, "Hey, check out this song."
That's
He's like, "Yeah,
amazing.
that's all right, dude. That's all right. Good work, I guess." Like Tony's so awesome. He's just got this insanely good guitar player with this cool ass voice, and he's
Yeah,
just being, "Yeah, nice work, buddy." I'm like, "Thanks, man."
that's
I was
so
so pumped. Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
And then you go off to Europe and you become this huge rock band. Does it
Well,
go
sorry,
ahead?
go
No,
ahead.
no, you go.
Oh, I was gonna say, well, in Dino's Sons, like, and your brother, like, those guys, I loved watching them play. Like, it really made me want to keep playing as well and like be as good as those guys. You know?
Yeah, I feel like you guys are similar in the sense that like you guys both have live shows that you can't like replicate in a studio album. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
Like the music is great on both sides. Andino San's Dead South, the music is great, but once you see the music being played live and performed live, it like takes it to a whole new level. I feel like I've always thought that about both of you, and that's why when you guys played that show at Connexus, it was just like kind of like was full circle. I felt like.
Oh, it's so awesome, man.
Dude, it was fucking that show was fucking crazy, man.
Fucking killed.
I was backstage like taking pictures and I was just like this is kind of like crazy shit, like rock star vibe shit. And
Oh,
it was
yeah.
in Regina, Saskatchewan of all places.
Of all places, man.
And what about Canada? What's your guys' draw like here?
It's also getting up there as well. I mean, we're playing anything from, you know, what was our smallest one was we played in Nova Scotia for our first time. I think that was about a 700 capacity room, which was amazing.
Wow.
And could went bigger if there was more time to upgrade as well, which is cool. So playing anywhere from that to like 5,000.
Wow. And what's the Juno situation going to be? Are they postponing it? Do you guys get the second shot at it or what? How does that work?
Yeah, not too sure. I really hope that like it's postponed for sure, but I don't know if they're going to keep the same location, and if they are they going to keep the same format? Because when it was supposed to be in Saskatoon, they really heavily based it around the performances being by a lot of Saskatchewan artists. Like we were going to play on the broadcast. We were nominated for a Juno. We still don't know if if they're going to announce that kind of stuff either. We don't really know what's going on yet.
Yeah, I guess are they trying to like make it into a virtual show like American Idol's doing right now?
sounds horrible. I think that was the idea though, and then because it was kind of right after it was canceled, they were talking about doing like a virtual show.
Yeah,
but I think it got shut down by some people that were just like, let's give this some time.
word. And so, are you guys all stationed at your houses in Regina?
Yeah, everyone except for Scott. Scott lives in Kelowna.
Oh, really? Crazy.
Yeah.
So how does that work with the band? If like I know it's more possible than ever to have bandmates all over the world and you can play together, but how does like the writing process come together with you guys?
Well, writing, it's different now than it used to be. When we all lived in Regina and the band first started, we were jamming like 2-3 times a week, sometimes 4, and then then we just kind of set a regimen in and we kept going. Then eventually we were touring so much that we rarely got together unless we wanted to write something.
Yeah.
So I was like, and then when Scott moved away, it actually didn't change that much because we were seeing him still every 2.5 weeks on tour. And then we would just plan a writing time after that. So it really changed. It went from jamming and drinking beers every few times a week to having to plan out when you're going to write some songs.
Yeah, that's crazy. And so do you write virtually or how does it work? Like how does it look now?
Well, right now it's kind of, you write some stuff and then eventually you send some guys some audio notes and see what they think of it. And if they're pumped on it, then you try and bring it back when you get together and jam it out and keep working on stuff. Yeah.
That's crazy. And so now do you have time to jam now or is it just kind of like you get together a week before your fucking massive tour in Europe and then you rip it?
We just show up the day of and rip it in sound check, and then we start touring for 3 weeks.
That's so crazy. Well, I guess you guys are probably like so busy that it doesn't even matter. Like,
well, we're about 3. We tour for 3 weeks at the most now, and our breaks in between are 2.5 to 3 weeks. So we're seeing each other every 2.5, 3 weeks.
Yeah, so you're staying sharp. The break is needed, hey? Is it get crazy?
Oh man. We were supposed to go hard until November, like crazy heavy touring, and it was going to be nuts. But then this forced break came in, and I didn't realize how badly I needed it.
Yeah, see, I've been hearing that a lot from like pretty much every single person, especially creators. Like, it's like you work yourself to the bone. You don't even realize it, especially with travel. You throw in travel in the mix, and then everything fucks up, right? And then you don't realize you need this power break until you get it.
The travel is a really fucking weird thing, man. It's like you're sitting or you're trying to sleep in a van or like even a bus, whatever, but you're just not really resting.
Yeah, exactly.
You're
not
always
getting into
going
that deep REM sleep. You're always on the road. You got the road mentality.
Yeah, then you get home and your mind has to settle. Your body has to settle. You got to try to get back into a routine, and then you leave again.
Yeah, I know.
You know? It's like,
do you guys build in days off in between your tours? Like, I don't know if you're like, for instance, if you're going to Madrid, are you just playing Madrid and getting out of there? Or are you playing Madrid and spending the next day at the beach, you know, hanging out with some Latinas?
Latinas. You know, that really depends. Like, we try and do so many days in a row and then have a break. And of course, that's up to like, you get booking agents and they try and set up all the shows and make sure that it all works out without, like, if it was up to them, you'd play 365 days a year.
Yeah,
you know?
No shit. Twice, two days.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, you guys need a break? Oh, come on, guys. You know, no, we got really good guys with us, and we just let them know our concerns. It's like, you know, we're maxing out at 3 weeks. That's it now. And we need, you know, we'll start with 3 days in a row or just 2, just to warm up the vocals without hurt them. We're getting older, you know, and take a break. And then we can we'll do 6 days in a row now.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. At least you get 1 day off a week to at least recharge. One of the hard things that isn't like often talked about is how fucking hard it is having like 4 dudes coming from different like musical backgrounds and different, even just, you know, the way they grew up is different, sitting in a van together for 7 days a week for fucking 200 days of the year. Like that in and of itself, I feel like is like such a difficult thing for anybody to deal with, let alone like bandmates who are trying to all sort of bring their what they can bring to this collective goal. Like I can't imagine how difficult some of that shit must be, and like just staying level-headed together and not fucking wanting to kill each other.
Yeah, fuck, man. Like we've lucked out. Like, yeah, we'll have some moments where, you know, someone might get upset or someone's a little frustrated or having a bad day, but we've lucked out so hard because we've been doing this for so long, and we started as friends, and our motto is always friends first, then a band, then a business.
Does that get hard though?
You know what? I think it's actually making stuff easier. Like, we're so good at talking with each other. It's like, hey man, that bothered me, what you said there, how you said it.
Oh, that's
it's perfect. Like, oh shit. Okay. Well, thanks for letting me know. And like, I got to stay focused on now. I'm going to work on that because like at the end of the day, we're family, you know, and this is something we all love to do. So we might as well do it with people we love doing it with, you know?
Yeah, no, I feel like that's obviously a good approach. I feel like in order to be successful, you have to have some type of mindset like that. I feel like you can't last if you're going to be a successful band and you let the business sort of take hold of you. It's tough though too, not to, right?
Oh man, absolutely. We do everything. We split everything equally, as in like writers, like all the royalties and stuff. Yeah. We just split it all equally, 25% each way, and that has really, like, I think benefited a lot in a lot of our minds. It just creates ease. But I remember sometimes at the beginning, I was so invested in this, and I like, you know, took a break from school, and I was just like wearing myself out from it, that I wasn't upset about money ever. Like, that wasn't it. But I was upset by like, you know, I didn't know how to communicate properly that I wanted people to be more involved and do stuff.
Yeah.
And then when they wanted to, I also didn't know how to let them. Dude,
I know that feeling just from having a podcast with my brother. Like it's so true. Like, it's your baby, right? And you're fucking working tirelessly at it, and you want it to do good and you want it to be successful. And then like the second something intervenes, whether it be, like someone shows up late or like even just someone wants to help more, it's like relinquishing control. I know the tensions involved in that, and on the level that you guys are at, I can't imagine how difficult that would be. So how did you figure out how to communicate that to the rest of the band?
Oh, it just kind of came through time. Sometimes it was through outbursts. Yeah. Sometimes it was through proper communication where you're actually just like sitting down and talking. And for some reason that day it felt easy to just be like, oh man, I really wish that you're doing something. But it was just through years of communicating. Like it was, we're in a relationship with each other. We had to learn to talk to each other, and we're still learning. There's moments where, it's tough. You're in a tough conversation point and you don't really know how to bring it up. But again, we're still we seem to be very understanding about that stuff and always trying to work on being better at it.
That's good. Yeah. I went through, a year of solid therapy and a lot of drinking. So you handled it a little bit better than me, but.
Well, the drinking was always there. That was also a problem with touring and stuff, like not only between the travel and like lack of sleep, but you're having drinks for energy. You're eating garbage food a lot because it's what's available. You don't have much money, so the cheapest option is usually shitty food. Mm-hmm. Late at night, what are your options late at night after a show?
Yeah,
pizza, burgers,
Don's.
Yeah, exactly.
So you were serious about you're actually staying healthy while you're at home.
Trying to. Well, I'm trying to stay serious about it when I'm at home because the other guys are such inspirations on the road. Like Scott looks like a chiseled like god. He's just ripped. He rock climbs. He cares about health a lot. So that's very motivating.
Dude, he totally looks like a rock climber. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, he is good.
Is he?
Really good.
Boulder, sport climbing?
He does both. Nice. But he's a really good boulder, and then that transferred well into sport climbing for him. He didn't have the endurance at first for sport climbing, but he was getting the really hard problems that a lot of sport climbers couldn't get because he was so strong from bouldering.
Yeah,
exactly.
Crazy. Yeah,
so now he trains both.
That's so funny. I always thought that he looked like a rock climber. I don't know why, but I just always had that vibe from him.
Yeah.
So they're helpful for you on the road. Like, does he go climbing on the road and shit?
Yep, he goes climbing a lot, and he invites me, and then that gets me out and doing stuff. And Colton does jiu-jitsu pretty much every day, so he looks up a new gym to go to in whatever city we're in. Yeah, and he does that. So that's like, okay, Colton's doing something. I got to do something.
Yeah.
Danny goes for runs all the time, and he's just always just like, yeah, I'm gonna go for a run and check out the city. I'm like, what a good way to check out the city. You're going for a run while seeing it. So,
dude, that's like, I've always struggled with that. Traveling, trying to figure out how to like manage my health on the road, because you're exactly right. Like and it's not even that sometimes the only options that are available are shitty food, but you're also like in a new place. You want to like check out their food. You know what I mean? Like you want to fuck with their food, and that's normally not healthy. That's bread, pastas, like all the worst shit, but so good.
Oh man, go get some like deep fried chicken in New Orleans or something. Where it's just,
my God. I've always wanted to, man. My buddy just got back from New Orleans. Fuck. Yeah, that's on the bucket list for sure.
And that's a place where it's all basically deep fried. All the good shit that you're looking for, it's like they get that seasoning in there and they just deep fry the shit out of it.
Oh, yeah. Give it to me, man.
Yeah.
And so like, what's your favorite place on the road? What's your favorite spot to visit?
That's a tough question, because there's so many cool places out there, and some parts stick in your mind. But a place I've always been a fan of, and I even got to party with your brother there one time, was Montreal.
Montreal, I love Montreal.
I'm a big fan of Quebec. I went to school at Quebec City for a year. Went to Laval.
No way.
Yeah, it was part of my French my French degree there.
So you speak French?
I do. Yeah.
What language are you learning right now?
German. Sie Deutsch.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I don't speak German. That's about as far as she goes. Scheiße! All right, no. But how's the German coming along?
It's coming. I'm really digging it. I'm getting into the pattern of a lot of like the genders, the masculine, feminine, and neutral as well.
How are you learning?
Duolingo actually is
Oh,
how I'm
crazy.
starting. Trying to get I do it every day, about half hour of German every day on Duolingo, and then eventually, once I'm feeling more into it, I'm going to start progressing and actually like taking some courses or something, and then some speech. And I got to get back into French and really hone that in too. And
Did you grow up in French immersion?
yeah, went to French
Nice.
immersion, St. Pius, and then went to Le Boldus. But I'm a North Ender, so I'm the Cross
NOD.
City kid. NOD.
Shout out to all the NOD girls in DC shoes and pink laces. Uh, um, but but that's crazy because like I think I'm gonna put my daughter in French immersion because like one thing you realize when you start to travel more, and I'm sure that's why you're learning German, is that like it's kind of invaluable having like a like a language base anywhere. You know, like we all kind of use 300 words to communicate. You know, like even in English, probably most of the words we use are like 200, 300 words. So like getting a base in other languages is so fucking cool when you go start to travel. And German would be sick because like even though everyone there speaks English, it would still be a sweet fucking language to learn. And it's hard.
Yeah, it's pretty badass language. I'm not gonna lie. I have a lot of fun with it. But I mean, just in general, knowing how to communicate and learning how to speak someone else's language goes a long way. Especially, you go to someone else's culture and you're going there, you know, to be there for a bit. I think it shows also a little bit of respect, trying to
Respect.
show them that you're at least making an effort to speak their tongue.
And that's such a fucking Canadian thing that like no American's gonna go to Germany trying to know a little bit of German. You know, I feel like that's such a Canadian thing to do. Like just be respectful and show up with a little bit of German.
Yeah, well, it took a while. I mean, like I've gone to Germany. I don't even know how many times right now, and finally I'm like, man, I really got to get on top of this shit. Like we
But
go there a lot, and if they speak English to me, they deserve for me to speak German to them. When I go
yeah,
to Montreal or Quebec or France, I speak French to them.
yeah,
You know, I should do the same thing in Germany.
for sure. Yeah, it's cool too. Like they definitely I think get the respect thing too. Whenever I would go anywhere in South America and speak Spanish, even though I'm like a white boy, they still like respect that I give a shit enough to learn the language because there's so many people abroad, man, that just don't ever care to try, because they get by. They have their own neighborhoods of, people who speak their language and they just kind of sit there and speak English, and I just was never that when I lived in South America. And I feel like that's why I have so many Chilean friends is because they didn't see me as like that guy who just came to their country to like, I don't know, live cheaply or some shit.
Yeah, man, you made an effort. You made an effort, and then you became a boy. You were in there.
Yeah, for sure. What's your spot in Germany, like favorite place?
Well, I got a sweet spot of a heart for Hamburg because that's kind of where we
Where the
base out
label
of.
is.
Really like Berlin. It's a cool place. But I mean, anywhere you go, different regions have very different looks. You go down south, you get in like Munich, like Bavaria, you look in Munich and stuff. Like what? It's a pretty cool city. But then you talk to every other region, they're like, oh, that place is the worst. Their beer is the worst. And then I
That's
go
so
there and I drink their beer. I'm like, fuck, shit is so good. Everywhere I go.
dude, I know. I've only been to like old Bavaria and like Munich, and I just remember going there and being stunned at how cool the culture was.
Yeah.
It's just such a cool vibe. Like, I remember it was like a fucking Thursday morning, and 8 o'clock in the morning, I was downtown Munich. I turned the corner, and it's just like a beer gardens, and it's fucking packed with like people of all ages, from 18 to like 95, and everyone has a 1 liter beer, and everyone's just celebrating the soccer game, and you're just like, dude, this is like what a culture should be, like why not? Why don't you have like beer gardens open on a Sunday where you can just go to the park with your family and, toss back a couple pints and hang out in the sun?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's one thing I loved about Germany and Austria and that whole like area.
Well, like even sticking on the beer conversation in that country, like they care a lot between them and like Czech Republic and Austria stuff. Like they really try to make sure they're using good filtered stuff in their beers. Like that's actually a lot better than, drinking a fucking Pabst
Coke.
Blue Ribbon here,
Yeah.
like a Coke or anything. Like they just don't care. They just mass produce it all so much. Like all those Molson beers.
Yeah.
You wake up the next day, you're stuffed up. It's like, why the fuck am I so stuffed up? It's like because they don't care what they're giving you. They just want to fucking.
Yeah.
They just want you to buy it.
For real, man. And like it shows in just the physical appearance of Germans, dude. Like I saw one fat person when I was there, and she was American. Like I didn't, dude. They're just like big. It seems like they're in shape. They don't eat terrible. Like even their like sausage shit that they have there, it's still good. Like it's not bad for you. Well, maybe it is. I don't know.
But they just don't overdo it. Like they're just a healthier civilization in general.
Yeah. Did you guys go to the Neuschwanstein Castle?
No, actually.
It's that like Disney inspired castle. You've probably seen like a bunch of shit online of it. Just
where is that, sir?
It's probably like 2 hours in the countryside outside of Munich. I'm not sure which direction. I was on a bus, so I didn't even see it, but it was pretty cool. It literally is like what inspired the Disney like castle. It looks just like that. It's pretty dope.
So yeah, the sunshine in here.
Yeah. No, Germany is fucking dope. And then what else in Europe? Like what are some other favorites, dude?
Well, we've really only been to like Prague in Czech Republic, but that city is incredible. The buildings are untouched from the old days. Like it's just you get an oversight look on the city, and it's just fantastic. You're just seeing this gorgeous view of what used to be and still is, I guess. And
it's the oldest city in Europe.
Is it really?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I probably fucking read that on like, Facebook somewhere, but yeah, that's what I read. That's what I read once in my life.
Yeah.
It's the oldest city. It looks so sick though. And talk about beer culture. That seems
Pilsners.
Like the peak. Yeah. That seems like the peak of beer culture out there.
It is, man. I mean, and then other than that, I mean, every place has such a beautiful spot. Like I love France too. The south of France, their beaches. I haven't been too far north, but I've been to the center and down. And once you get to the center, it's really cool, nice regions. Then you get south, and it's just like these gorgeous beaches and stuff. And that leads into like Spain and Italy over there. And it's like, amazing. Oh my God,
that whole
so amazing.
Yeah. I when I was in university, I had a French roommate, and he's from Montpellier. Yeah, and he was just like the coolest dude ever. Like he would just cook huge French meals with eggplants at night, and like just for all of us, and just like such a cool guy. And then when he moved out that summer, I just literally lived at the beach in Vancouver, and I met these other two guys also from the south of France, sort of Montpellier region. And like I've always got such good vibes from anyone I've met in the south of France. And so I've always wanted to go there, but I've never had the opportunity. I've only ever been to like Paris and around the Paris area, but I've never got to go south, and it's always been like a bucket list thing of mine.
Yeah, it's something I want to do very properly as well. Actually, one time I was backpacking in Barcelona, met two people from France. And then they invited me and my buddy to come check out their hometowns and like do a little tour south of France in Avignon and Perpignan. And at no point in my life have I ever been invited to someone's house in another country that I met in a hostel. That's like, yeah, let's go take a train ride and come see where I live and what we do.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Fucking amazing. And you keep in touch, so you're gonna go back, I hope.
It's been a while since I've kept in touch, but that's a good reminder to do so.
So with you traveling all the time with Dead South, how do you find time to like travel on your own? Like, do you guys get enough time in the year? Do you have like a specific season where you guys are like off for a while, or you can kind of enjoy the fruits a bit, or you just work?
Pretty much work. My best friend lives in Cologne, Germany. Also a very nice spot. So sometimes after tours, I'll stick around and we'll do some like pedal biking around the region and do that, or stick around for a few days and hit up, another place or something. But no, we don't get too much time. Christmas time is our longest time off, usually during the year, and that's usually pretty bonkers with family time and then snowboarding or something.
Yeah, spent it at home. Are you guys all single dudes?
No, actually, Scott's married. Danny's been with his partner for 7 or 8 years, or maybe 6 or 7, and Colton's at like 8 or 9 years with his partner. So
you're the only single one?
Just this fella.
Fuck. So what's that like on the road? You probably always want to go out raging, meeting some Germans.
I mean, it sounds like it'd be such a luxury, but it's more so like, you're pretty tired a lot of times. And to be quite honest, let's just say you did want to go hook up with someone. Like, you go out and then you have to make sure you're back at a certain time and you don't miss a bus or something. Like, it just sounds more stressful than it really is.
Yeah.
Like, there's been a couple.
Invite them on the tour bus or no?
No, I don't think everyone would be down for that kind of stuff. I mean, we got a whole crew on there too, right? So
true. How many of you are there? Like, what's your team?
There's us 4, and then there's the bus driver, which you normally don't see the bus driver too often, depending on the bus driver. And then we got lights, 2 merch guys, sound, and a tour manager.
So 10 of you on one bus.
Yeah, but the bus driver normally doesn't sleep on the bus.
Oh, word.
So there's 9 of us on there.
So do you guys all have beds? Or you cuddle?
Yeah.
You cuddle sometimes?
No, it's just straight vampire bunks, man. I personally get great sleeps on there, but I sleep like a rock.
Yeah.
And if you can get used to it, you can. I know Danny Oliver has a really tough time on the bus. He doesn't like the movement. It freaks him out, I think, a little bit. So
yeah, I've always wondered like what the tour bus life would be like. Like, what do you guys do on it?
Well, we kind of managed to get the bus driver to drive through the evenings or like the nighttime, and then we arrive in the morning. So we don't spend too much time on the bus besides like, Scott will make a bunch of smoothies and all your extra food from the green room, you stuff in the fridge so you can snack on it at night when you get back in.
Yeah.
And then you just sit in a room and in some of the rooms and drink and hang out, or you go to bed and you just kind of tell everyone to fuck off.
Yeah. That's cool. It's fuck, dude. It must be so nice having like healthy minded people on that team, because I feel like it'd be so easy to just fucking do the polar opposite of that. Make smoothies.
Like, that's Scotty Pringle right there. He's probably saved my life,
But for real, dude, like,
yeah.
I don't think I'd be able to handle the rockstar life. I feel like I would die early.
Well, what I'm finding is the more we do this, the less rockstar we really get. I mean, like, you try and go to bed, you don't drink as much as you used to.
The
you really try and watch out.
Yeah. Do you guys have like video games on the bus and like cards and shit? Do you guys ever do that kind of shit?
Yeah, there are the options for those things, and sometimes some guys will hook up their Switches and play some games, or play a lot of board games will happen.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It'd be hard to like remember to stay friends when you're together all the time. Like doing shit like that.
Yeah, that's it's roommates and stuff like that can be an interesting thing. But no, we got a pretty good thing going.
Yeah, you guys have been killing it. How many albums do you guys have out?
Currently, we have 1 EP and 3 albums.
When's the most recent? When was the last one released?
We released it right before we did that Canadian run.
Okay. And so the
or just after that show. Yeah.
What's the one video that blew up?
In Hell, I'll Be in Good Company.
Yeah, that song. Fuck, dude. That was crazy. Did you expect
It's still going, man.
Is it, dude? Did you expect it to happen, or like?
No, not at all, man. It was like we were doing some videos with our buddies, the Two Brothers Films, and we loved doing videos with them, and we were getting decent responses, like decent for what we thought was decent,
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, that fucking thing just started shooting. It just started going. It just was like all of a sudden we're at 1 million. It's like 1 million. Holy fuck, 1 million.
Fucking crazy.
Then the next thing you know, we're at 10 million. It's like, oh man, we're gonna cap out here. We are now at like 180 some million.
That is so fucking crazy, dude. How old is that video?
2016, I think. 2016, 2017. 2017, maybe.
What an amazing thing to happen, though. And did it happen overnight to the 1 million, like the big leap?
The big leap, yeah, to 1 million happened kind of fast. So at first we released it and the video picked up more steam than we'd seen yet. And it was like, oh, that's pretty cool. But then all of a sudden it got on the front page of Reddit one day. And then that, I don't know who puts it on there or how that shit works.
The video got on the front page? Wow.
Yeah. So then it got there and then it got onto this huge bluegrass blog Facebook page that has like millions of followers. So then it got there and then it went back to the front page of Reddit. And someone told me just the other day it's back on the front page of Reddit. People are getting pissed. Like are these motherfuckers paying for this shit to be everywhere? And no, we're not. But
that's so
guys,
cool, man.
Yeah, you guys are clicking on this shit enough that it's getting shared around. So,
yeah, I guess. Hey, well, fucking ride that wave, man. Why not? And if it's the longest wave of all time, who cares? 4 years?
Yeah, I guess so.
A 4-year-old wave.
Fuck, let it go. Let's keep rolling.
What do you think it is about that video?
I think that oh yeah, let's hear your perspective first.
Well, actually. I was gonna say I just think that it does a really good job of like capturing the essence of your band. Like you guys are it is about as close as to like the feeling I get watching you guys live, that video. I don't know. It's my hot take. What's yours?
Yeah, that would make sense just because you're getting the dancing. I think that it's, that our look. So first of all, it's like, what the fuck are these Amish people doing? Or, whatever people want to say or assume that we are.
Yeah.
And what are they doing? So that catches the eye. And then the beat is simple with the whistling. Mm-hmm. And then you get a dance happening with the changing background, and then people are getting something different to see. It keeps changing. So not only are they watching us now they're like, oh, where are they? Oh, that's nice. And then they go back and is that green screen? Is that real life? Yeah, that's like,
yeah. It's an amazing video, man. It's really well done for sure.
Those guys killed it.
Yeah, and the tune is fucking so catchy too. It gets stuck in your head as soon as you listen to it.
Yeah, that whistling and the beat.
Yeah, I feel like everyone waits for that at your guys' shows. That fucking song
absolutely. They
just rages. Yeah. No, man, that's amazing. And like, so where do you guys go from here? Now that you're kind of, you're huge. Let's just call it what it is. You guys are a huge fucking band. How does things change? Like, when did you guys start with the Amish outfits?
You know what? I'm gonna pour a Jameson and then I'm gonna get into this real quick.
Let's fucking
because this starts at a point of just trying to be creative, and yeah, we'll go from there. One sec.
Okay, sweet. We're both fucking drinking, Jamie. All right, I'm just gonna sit here and we're gonna wait. Fucking Jameson. I guess I'll pour a little more too. What a setup, though, dude. Fuck, it feels nice to be able to. It feels like we're having a conversation, which that's been the challenge with the pod right now. Is like, I want to have cool people on that I can talk to in person, but you can't do that right now. So then you try and have like Skype combos, but it's just not the same at all.
No, absolutely. I think that, but it depends on the host, man. You're driving the conversation. This is awesome.
No, I don't think so, man. I think that like it feels like you're here. I think that helps a lot, like it really you're like in my head, man.
You're in my ears, bro. No, it definitely feels like we're in the same room, and that's what makes it so easy. Especially like when you're having drinks.
Yeah, that never hurts for sure. Yeah, so like tell me about when the outfits. When was that when did you guys have the conversation to like make it a sort of, I don't want to say gimmick. That's not the right word. It's like I don't know. You know how like fucking Slipknot has the masks. You guys have the outfits.
Yeah, we like to refer to ourselves as Guar of the bluegrass world.
Yeah, exactly. Like some kind of shit like that, right? It's your thing.
Yeah. That came from just at the very beginning. The way we started was just by We're like, hey, let's all wear plaid shirts that are the same colors tonight, or the same hats, just like something that's very similar, so we all kind of get the feel. And then eventually, I think it was Colton. He's like, "Why don't we try white shirts and suspenders?" So then that was the beginning of the white shirts and suspenders, and then it became black pants.
What year was
And then
that?
that was early on. Still, that was right off the hop. That happened fast, actually.
Like before
That
you guys
happened like,
went to Germany?
yeah, that happened like 2012,
Oh, okay.
2013,
Like right away.
like right off the hop. We played a few shows, and then our first show in Red Deer, actually, which was what kind of gave us the taste of touring. Played in Red Deer, Alberta one time, and that was our first time leaving the city, and we decided to do the white shirts and suspenders, and then it just took off. And then we all kind of got our own look after that,
And
where
like,
everyone just kind of evolved.
and so now that it's where it is, like you guys must have every fucking year or so the conversation of like, should that change? Like, how does this change in 10 years?
Yeah, like it's definitely been a thought in our minds, like here and there. And, other people have asked that question too, but it's like at the same time, I don't think of it too much because it's not that important to change it yet.
I don't think it needs to be
It's,
changed.
yeah, it's just kind of our thing. And,
Do you,
maybe we'll change a little bit, but I don't think we'll change much if we ever do.
do you have a couple outfits, or are you just rocking the greasy, stinky fucking same one all through tour?
Well, times have changed and now we get to wear other clothes.
Oh, that's good. But back in the day,
yeah, back in the day it was like, 2 pairs of black pants and then maybe a couple white shirts. And then I started wearing that sport coat. That was a blessing and a disguise, or sorry, a blessing and a curse, actually. The disguise was I was trying to hide my gut. I started getting fat. So someone one time was like, "Oh, do you wear the coat because you're like doing a power trip move?" I'm like, "No, I'm actually wearing the coat because I'm trying to hide my fucking fat gut that I got rolling."
classic.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's so crazy because like it feels like, just from talking to you, it feels like the ascent was so steep where you guys went from kind of 0 to 100, but it seems like the changes were a little more gradual, where you guys kind of did get to ride out the rocks, like the early days in the van fucking grinding, to all of a sudden now you're in a tour bus together with a team of 10 people all helping.
Yeah. We definitely didn't go from van to tour bus overnight. Like, you hear some people doing that, they get a hit. Yeah. No, we just toured hard, and we got some really good headed people in our band too. You got a guy who's way more conservative and a guy who's a little more like, "Hey, why don't we try it?" And then you get the conversations going. So it's like, okay, so
move the needle.
And we also had families that were super supportive. They'd lend us their vans. They'd lend us, the help we needed when we needed it. Yeah. One time we were taking Scott's dad's van to Swift Current. And we were carrying the trailer. That thing was fucking packed, and there was 4 of us in there. And or there's 5 of us in there. And of course, the belt goes on us, and we're on the side of the road. Instead of him being like, "Oh, you guys owe me a new engine now or a new van," he goes, "Well, the van's still in good shape, and I guess it kind of needed an overhaul. So now it's kind of like a new van." Like, it's like, like that's the kind of support you need, where they're not trying to tear you down.
Definitely.
They're just trying to push you forward.
Yeah. I feel like, I don't know, like, I wonder if that has changed in today's world a bit, just maybe with the internet, but like, it feels like back in the day, like, people didn't always get that support from their parents because they had this sort of idea that the only thing you could really do is go to school and become like some type of professional or whatever. That's what every parent essentially wanted for their kids. But I always have come from the camp, even way before I was a fucking dad, that like you have to like identify your kids' passions early on and then just like help them along, and granted, if you sucked at being a musician, as a dad, I'm probably going to be like, okay, well, maybe I'm not going to give you a new alternator for your van for the 3rd time in a row, like, but if it's clearly something that's working, like, dude, that support must have been everything you guys needed at the time.
It really was like that stuff was massive. Like it it was a big deal for me to not finish school and do this band thing. Like that was my mom's main concern. Like me and her fought about school a lot in university. I didn't dig university. I loved school. I loved elementary school. I loved high school. But as soon as I got into university, I just couldn't get in the right headspace for it.
Yeah.
It just
what
I don't know what it
was it?
was.
What didn't you like about it?
I think that I just wanted to be free at that time. I was ready to be free.
Yeah. And you had the music thing, man. Like you wanted that.
Well, that kind of came, right? I mean, it didn't start like that as well. I just, I just wanted to have fun in university. I was tired of just like when I was growing up, I played volleyball very intensely, sorry, where I'd play all year round. I'd play high school, club, provincial team, and it was just like continuous. So like that was really good. That kept me in line, and I was pretty good at school. I had some moments, of course, but all around I was pretty good. And then when university came, I just felt like I was ready for something different. And I did well in some things, didn't do well in others because I just couldn't focus. I didn't want to be there at all.
So what was that conversation like with your mom, trying to convince her that, hey, I'm gonna fuck off from university? I know how many years deep were you?
I had 1 year left. I had my internship with some follow-up classes, and then I had to finish my my Bachelor of Arts in French as well. So what I basically said was, look, Mom, I have this opportunity to go to Germany with the band, and it's during my internship or when internship would be. And I'm going to go to Germany. And she put down her knife and fork. We were sitting at the table, and she just looked at me. She said, okay. And that was the first time she's ever said okay when it comes to school. But she's also always been super supportive in everything. It's just school is just like, just get it done, Nate. You fucking
well, especially finish, you're 3 years deep or whatever you were. So, exactly. but like, what about now that you're kind of in it now? You're a full blown rock star. You're doing the music thing. Have you ever thought about maybe just fucking hunkering down for a year, correspondence, and just doing it on the road?
100%. I don't know if like maybe I could do it on the road. I'd have to change the way things go a little bit in order to get it done, because it's a lot of energy once you. I mean, for example, and some people are good at this, so I'm just talking about myself. I'm not comparing myself to anyone, because some people would be like, you suck.
Yeah, making excuses.
Yeah, exactly. Like you play hard all night, and then you wake up when you wake up, and then you want to kind of have some day when you're on tour. You don't want to get into the book straight away, and then
of course.
So I mean, maybe sometime in my life, but I would happily, if there was a chance, like now, I should have been looking at some classes. Maybe I still will, but if there's more opportunities like this that come around, or more breaks, I'll really start thinking of like, let's take some correspondence and get into it, because I'm in that mode again where I actually like want to sit down and learn stuff at a different rate. And
have you dudes chatted about how like this time off has been obviously beneficial to you, I'm sure, to the rest of the band and to the whole team? Have you chatted about how like, maybe we should fucking dial it back a bit and maybe focus on just deep breaths? Like this isn't going anywhere,
Well, I think that's not something we've talked about, because this was such a forced thing. It was a forced time off, but we all feel really good. But now we're all getting really amped to tour again. And I think that the way I had actually kind of seen this play out is not COVID, but we do this year heavily. We tour hard. We keep on that same regime. Then we're going to take 3 months off after November to just like chill out, spend some time with our families, maybe go write an album somewhere. And then I thought that maybe we'd get into the discussion of being like, okay, now that we've done 3 weeks on the road, which probably won't change because that's that's fine. 2 weeks is kind of like that turning point. And then a few days, play for another week after that, you're still okay.
Yeah.
But then taking a month to a month and a half off in between.
Right.
And then, maybe we just keep adjusting like that. And then the bigger we get, the easier it is to take more time off because the shows are bigger. So you don't have to play as much and for as long. So.
Yeah, for sure. I can't imagine like when you guys first write an album, the fucking work that must go into that whole process of promoting it, touring, like even just promoting it alone sounds like a fucking grueling process.
Yeah, it definitely can be. We're very fortunate. We've worked our way to a place where we have a management team that and some labels that really push us, and they listen to our ideas, and when they do something that we're kind of like, they're like, oh, okay, well, what would you like to see? So that's then we just kind of, yeah.
I bet that doesn't happen that often.
Nope. Sometimes you get fucked around and you get robbed, and sometimes you get beat up.
Yeah, well, for real though. Are you guys still signed to that Hamburg label?
Yeah, that's daddyDANK Records. That was the one thing when we signed to. So now we're with 6 Shooter Records in Canada.
Okay,
and the rest of the world as well. That's their rights. But so we also
how does that work? Like how you guys got your first record deal with the Hamburg label? What's it called? Sorry.
daddyDANK Records.
daddyDANK Records, and then you signed with the Canadian label sometime down the road.
Yeah.
Who gets the bigger piece of the Dead South pie?
Well, that goes regional now, right? Like so. Usually when a new label comes in and they're like big and they want to do stuff with you and they offer you some this, like we want all of you. But our stipulation was we want you as well. Like we think that this would be great. We got burned by a last label and stuff. We're not feeling too trustworthy. And daddyDANK Records, we've always trusted and we have no problem with. So that's something that we would like to keep in our lives.
Yeah.
And in our family. And they're like, okay, if that's something you guys want, then we will try and make this work around that. And they were very kind about it. And
how do record labels work now? Because back in the day, like one of the biggest reasons why you'd sign to a label is for distribution, to get your records out there. And now you guys can do that yourself. So how does a record label help you guys now? Like, I'm just curious from my own brain, how that's changed.
Well, obviously it's changed a lot, as in the whole music industry has changed when the accessibility to musicians and artists is much easier. Mm-hmm. However, if you want to get to certain levels, you kind of have to abide by that. And also if you want the help and the brain power and the ideas, it's a good idea as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, like distribution wise, you get to a label and then a lot of times they have links to another distribution company or another labels like Universal or the Orchard or something, these bigger ones that just want to push your stuff out in a very popular way, as in they already have the name. So people are like, oh, these guys are pushing it out. So they can push it out in bigger numbers. They can push it out to these places where these other places can't. You can't. Also, in terms of that stuff, let's get to another aspect of the music industry. You need a publisher to be able to collect a lot of your own royalties, which is garbage, but necessary, I guess. You yourself, unless you start your own publishing company, you cannot go and collect certain royalties if your stuff's being played in certain places. Yeah, you need a publisher to do it. So you would have to start up Dank Industries,
right?
And Publishing Co.
I like it.
And then then you could go into it, but you couldn't go as just yourself.
That's so crazy to me. Why is that?
I don't know. I don't fucking get a lot of this industry. I don't. Wow. I think that in terms of managers, labels, agents, and I'm not speaking for all of them, of course not.
Right.
But a lot of this industry is, it's bloodsucking.
For sure, man. I think it's always been that way for sure. But so how does that differ then from how do independent artists do it? How did Chance the Rapper fucking give her?
Well, technically we're still independent. I mean, we're on an indie label kind of thing, but
True. No major label signing.
Yeah, no major label and stuff. You can just kind of figure your way around it, or you kind of know the right people, or you luck out, or you're good enough that somehow you just manage to get through in a different way. There's no I don't think that there's one way to do it. I think that there's going to be multiple ways to figure it out and do it. And even if you try those ways, sometimes they're not going to work.
Yeah. Yeah, trial and error. I guess everyone kind of obviously will have their own musical journey, I suppose. But like it's just crazy to me that I don't know. Is it still considered a record label if they're not doing like record label shit though? Like they're probably supporting you in other ways, like probably helping you guys out with tours, probably helping you guys out with the logistics of just marketing and promoting yourselves. But like when everything's kind of going through Spotify these days, and obviously you're probably getting some kickback. Like I'm sure you guys have like vinyls, and you actually have a physical copy of your CDs or whatever. Do they still make those CDs? Like, do you guys still have CDs?
We do. Off stage, we actually still sell a lot of CDs.
Really?
Yeah.
See, and like I feel like tech industries are killing that because like I don't have a CD player in my car. I don't have a CD player in my computer. Like I literally can't play a CD anywhere in my life now.
I know it's getting harder, and I'm still surprised. Like we've gone through some phases where this actually happened mostly in Germany, where our label there was like, here's CDs and here's CDs and records. And we're like, oh, we need more. He's like, no, you've already been around here. You probably won't sell that much. And then, halfway through the tour, we're like, hey, we need more. And then there's a show where we don't have enough of what we need. So, exactly. You just never know.
Yeah. I feel like I feel like there'll always be like the nostalgia with a physical album. Like it won't ever go away, I don't think. But it kind of sucks that like it seems like the tech world and just the world in general is moving to this like place where whatever you're putting out into the world doesn't have the same type of like value that you can like feel and touch, it makes me sad in a way, but I also know that there are a lot of like people in the world that would beg to differ and would probably say, you know what, I have a fucking stack of vinyls that I listen to every day. And I'm kind of one of those people that fall in that camp, but I just feel a little bit sad because it's almost like the masses don't get the same sort, unless they're like super passionate about vinyl records or CDs or whatever it is. I have a VHS collection, like unless you're like kind of like a connoisseur, like super into it, they're not really making it easy for you as a consumer to like have physical copies of art.
No, they're not. And it's like, again, it's one of those blessing and curses. If you want to get out into the world, it's much easier if you can push yourself on a, social media platform and just be available on streaming and stuff. The chances of being discovered that way are quite a bit higher. Like, even YouTube, like let's go back to YouTube in general. Like Justin Bieber wouldn't have been anywhere without YouTube probably, right?
Yeah.
He was discovered on there. And, that's really helping. But yeah, it really sucks on the other end because streaming pays garbage. It pays you fucking peanuts. So yeah, you're getting discovered, but then once you're discovered and you can't make any money, it's like, holy fuck, what am I doing? Because you need to play shows for money. And then you need to sell CDs and vinyls and t-shirts and all that other stuff as well to keep afloat.
Yeah. Back in the day when you made an album, most of the money you were making came from the album. And now you don't even really consider that in your income report, like it's touring, merch, and then whatever you guys are doing on social media, maybe like AdSense on YouTube videos.
YouTube,
like Yeah.
Yeah. Playing shows is 100% number one. And then after that, it starts getting a little more complicated. And the more you do, the more radio play you get. That's the kind of stuff you want because you get good royalties from like XM or Sirius Radio or, just spins in general pay you much more than streams. Or if you can get a placement in a movie or a commercial or something like that, where they actually, they pay you out for the song or something.
Is a play on XM radio better than a view on YouTube, or like does it pay way better?
Oh man, a view on YouTube is nothing.
Yeah.
It's nothing.
Especially nowadays, like since they made that one change or whatever, you used to get money. Like I remember I made a video once Like this was so long ago, and it was like a fucking nothing video. I was in Chile and I recorded a bunch of people slacklining, and it got like 1,000 views, and I got like $700 from that video back then. And then they changed it, and now you don't get paid per view. You get paid by monetizing your videos.
Yeah, it's garbage. And if you need a view, you need like so many views to make $1
to make anything on YouTube. Yeah. You get your money from brand deals mostly.
Yeah, exactly.
So XM, so you guys must have radio trackers in every country of the fucking world.
Yeah, I think that's the way. I don't know if we have them in every country. Yeah, we have someone who's looking into all that stuff for sure. Who's trying to make sure that all the money that's owed to us we get, but also then they take their piece of the pie, of course.
Yeah. But, I guess like it's a price to pay though, right? Like you're not gonna fucking do it. So
well, yeah, if a guy doesn't know how
or have the time
or even know what he's looking for, you know, a lot of this industry, especially like when we were first starting, and it still is this way for sure, but it's all about asking the other guy, what's he doing? Oh, and he'll say something like, whoa, what's that? How do you do that? And then you just share ideas. Then you go to like Sask Music or Creative Saskatchewan, and they'll give you ideas like, oh, here, you got to look for this stuff. Here's what to do, and we can help you. And it's about really trying to create that community of help.
Yeah.
So you can all aid each other. And unfortunately, there's a lot of fuckheads out there that don't want to help you because they want to be the ones who get it.
Yeah,
it's like,
they see you as like a competition or something.
Yeah, but it's a counterproductive thought, because if you create a strong community, everyone's going to get better. Everyone's going to help each other.
Dude, the pie is big enough for everyone. Like everyone can eat, you know? I know I've always thought like that, even in the little communities that I'm in, whether it's podcasting or photography. Like I've always got the vibe that people don't really want to see you do well because they feel threatened that they might not do well, or that their success might be hindered by your success. But that's in this day and age, I really don't feel like that's the case. I feel like we can help each other. We can propel each other to do whatever the fuck, we want to do. There's no longer like one audience. It's like you find your audience and you all succeed together,
Well, yeah, man. And if you don't know how to help someone, or you don't really want to, at least point them in the direction of someone who could or or is willing to help them.
Yeah.
Because that matters, and that's going to go a long way. Because if you keep getting shut down by people that are just jealous of you, or you're going to go nowhere. Unless you push through, but I mean,
unless you let that ship bounce off you. I feel like that's especially in photography community, man, people always just talk shit about other photographers, and if you just don't listen to it, you usually get through. But I was curious, something you said about Creative Saskatchewan, like how has the Saskatchewan music community helped Dead South, or have they been good to you guys, or how is that whole sitch?
Yeah, definitely been a mix of both, right? I mean, we've gotten a lot of help over the years from friends in the community, like Mendino's Sons, and our first show at the Fainting Goat, when that was still a place, was with Mendino's Sons. Yeah, and we showed up and we had no patch cables, no nothing. So your uncle is showing up like, who the fuck are these guys? And they got nothing. We got to supply all of our shit to them. What is this?
He was probably a fucking asshole back then. When would that have been?
He was awesome, man. Man, your uncle is one of my favorite people of all times. I'm not gonna lie.
No, he's a beauty, and especially now that he's namaste, and he's very, very level-headed now. He's there. They're one of those bands, man. They've been a band for so fucking long. I think the same amount of time as you guys, really, like maybe a little longer.
Oh, I think they've been around for a little. That kind of lineup has been around for around the same time, but. Yeah, they're definitely like we look up to those guys for sure.
Oh, that's cool. And so, but like the Sask music industry, do you think?
I think the industry helped us. I mean, when we first started, we started going to Sask music right away.
Yeah,
and they started pointing us in the right directions. They saw how much we wanted this. We wanted to be better. We wanted to do better things. We applied for every grant. If we were denied, we'd ask the questions, and then if we didn't get it again, we'd find someone who could write it for us that was better.
Yeah.
And then it just became a nice partnership of us. They'd invite us for like workshops around the world. We'd go play, we'd sign up, and it just kept going and going. And I hope that what their help to us getting places, that we have been, at least giving that back to other people as well, seeing like we can do it, we can use this stuff, and we can be better. And now the world looks at Saskatchewan. There's a lot of good artists that come from Saskatchewan.
Yeah, there really is. I feel like it's so fucking boring here that really we get good artists and good hockey players, and that's like fucking, when you don't have anything else to do, you create.
Yep, you create, you build, you do what you can. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I feel like there are tons of good artists here. Like, I always am amazed at how, like some of it's luck, I guess, because like some people break through and some people just don't. But another part of it, I think, is like sometimes you get lucky where you join a band where all of you bring like a different skill set to the band that help kind of move the band forward. And like musicians by trade are not like business people, so they don't have business minds. I've seen it when I used to play in Desert Island Classic. Like, it's just a band of musicians, like, and there's sometimes you get lucky and you have band members who sort of kind of pick up the business side of it and help, where they might not be helping artistically as much, but they're helping, astronomically in other areas, whether it's business or marketing and promotions. And I feel like that's where a lot of Sask artists might not have that sort of help.
That's exactly what it is. And it's sink or swim a lot of times too, right? Like, it's just trial and error. What do you have to do? You kind of learn, you make a mistake, and then hopefully someone is there to help you out.
Yeah.
And make that better for you. So yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting thing, because your idea is to start a band, or take pictures,
right,
or draw, or paint, write a book. And then all of a sudden it's like, wait, I'm doing well. And now it's a business.
Yeah. Now there's a whole other thing that I didn't anticipate.
Exactly. And it's like, oh, what is this? What is that? What is this? And then you just keep going, making your way through, and hoping that you're learning on the way. And you got to be a nice person on the way too. I mean, you might have your days where you're a dink, but that's just kind of the way it goes.
Yeah. Everyone has that, I think.
Yeah. And, but hopefully at the end, you're just a good person and people want to help you and you want to help them. But again, getting back to the Saskatchewan community, like the industry definitely helped. I know I've given this advice to a lot of people, and some of them say like, oh, I didn't receive it the way you guys did. I can't speak to that, but all I can say is keep trying, show that you are motivated and interested, and you're putting your work in, and you never know what will happen. Just don't give up.
Yeah, I think that's like a thing that is true in any creative industry. It's like there are a lot of talented people in the world, and a lot of people think that because you're talented doesn't mean you necessarily have to put in the work. And like I feel like I couldn't be more opposite in any. It doesn't matter what industry you're in, whether it's creative, whether it's fucking just normal work, whether you're a professional or anything. Like I feel like it doesn't matter how talented you are. You have to show that you give a shit, that you actually put in the work, that you put in the time. So, but man, I'm very like watching you guys and your success. It's been such a pleasure, like coming from Saskatchewan and getting to see you guys go all over the world, and even just getting to catch your guys' show every now and then at home. It feels kind of like nice, I guess, to just like, I remember we played Momart together when I was in my old band, and just I think that might have been the first time. I might have saw you guys super early on, but that was the first time that I can recall like seeing your guys' like polished act. And I just remember being like, wow, these guys are fucking good, but not only good, but like they're on the cusp of like something special. And then seeing you guys kind of capitalize on it, I couldn't be more happy for you guys. Like, what a cool,
thanks, man.
What a cool thing, dude. What's next? What's next?
What's next is, who knows, man. I'm really happy that you're saying those things, because when you're starting out, it's just like, what the fuck are you doing? You're just trying things out. I even have ran into a couple guys recently who were just like, yeah, I remember when you guys first started. I'm like, what the fuck are these guys doing? And now they're like, oh yeah, good for them.
Well, it's cool because like I feel like you guys always stayed authentic, and that's the whole reason why I feel like you guys got your successes. Because like at no point in the road did you like try to deviate to like fit someone else's idea of who the Dead South was. You always stayed on course, you know. And I feel like people are so drawn to authenticity nowadays. They can see right through bullshit, you know. And you guys kind of just stayed to the course, and look at you now, you know.
Yeah. So look at us now, and what's next? Who the fuck knows? We'll just have to keep an eye out. We're just those like 1 foot in front of the other kind of guys, you know. It's just keep going forward.
In the moment, bro.
Yeah, live in the moment, keep pushing through, and you know, make some good decisions.
So your guys' last album came out in 2018, 2019.
2019.
2019.
October 2019. Yeah.
So you guys are good for touring for a bit, and then you'll probably write a new record sometime in the.
Yeah, I mean, this whole COVID thing kind of weirded things out. Like, the idea was to travel and tour till November, and then take 3 months off, and then write, and then probably start touring again, and then take a little break, and then record. So now we're just kind of playing it by ear. We're gonna release a couple of projects during this time that we've been working on, and
I was just gonna ask, you guys have been writing during this time?
A little bit. We've like, I've been writing a little bit. I know some of the other guys have been dabbling around, and we're also working on some other stuff, like just bettering our skills in general.
Yeah.
And we're doing some, you know, some video projects, like some cheesy stuff, and some stuff we've wanted to do for a long time. So,
but haven't had the fucking time or energy to do it.
Exactly.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Well, dude, thank you so much for doing this. It's like I said earlier, it's amazing seeing you guys. I can't wait to see what's next for you guys. For real.
Well, thanks a lot, man. Thanks for having me on here. This is a blast.
Dude, hell yeah, man. Come on anytime. When I can have you in the studio, that would be way better, because then we could cheers to some Jameson.
Yeah.
In person. Cheers, brother. Yeah. This is my second or third, but
yeah. Well, I did the beer in this one. I was looking at the other one, but yeah. Next time.
Yeah, I have to go put my child to sleep, so I should probably take her easy. Anyways.
Yeah, man. I love hearing that. That's good.
All right, buddy. Well, thanks again, man. And I look forward to seeing everything that's to come, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you very much, man. We'll see you next time.
Okay, dude. Take care.
Peace.
Bye-bye.